Run, river, run, run through the hills. Run, river, run to the sea. Run, river, run to your place beneath the sun. Run, river, run over me.
Hi, this is Jan Lewis. Welcome to be my guest. Today we have Courtney Kuketz with us. And what a beautiful last name. She is the author. Her first book is out. I should tell you this. Look at this. Now, somebody, I forget the name, who designed the cover of this. Who was that?
Brady Weldon.
Is that a good friend of yours?
He's actually one of my cousins.
What is your
He's
cousin?
my cousin, yeah.
It's a combination. You got the airplanes in the back seat. Now, what is the dark right here coming down?
So that's just supposed to be a finger, like...
Oh, to go, okay, Jan. Okay, she's going, shh. I shouldn't tell you this. What made you think of that title?
The whole book is kind of secrets. So it's two women telling their secrets that, like, they've never told other people before. So it's like, should I really be telling this stranger all of my deep, dark secrets?
This is fascinating because you've got two different generations. I've made sure you've got Betty and Olive. Now, Betty is in her 70s, and Olive is in her 20s. Am I right about that?
Right.
They meet on a flight to Barcelona, and they just start talking. And they have two such different worlds. Tell us about what got you going, and what's the story about?
So there are the two women, Betty and Olivia. They meet up in the airplane, and Olivia, the younger one, is like, I'm so ready to just be alone and not have to talk to people. But she's like stuck next to this woman who she can tell is nervous and wants to talk to her. And so they kind of start sharing their stories, which are very different, but also kind of overlap. They have a lot of overlapping themes throughout their like secret telling. And I just thought, like, you know, older generations and younger generations, we look at each other, we're like, oh, like, you hear a lot, like, boomers or millennials, and it's, like, kind of said with, like, a scoff, like, kind of talking down about them. And I was like, but are we really all that different?
Yeah.
And so that idea came to mind, and I was like, you know, maybe they're not so different, and these two women can discover that as they...
I like the way you dedicated it to your grandma. You said even if she doesn't know you, is she going through Alzheimer's?
Yes.
How old is she?
She's 76.
She's only 76?
Right.
That's awfully young for that, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a hard disease for sure.
Yeah. Does she know you once in a while? Remember you?
Not so much lately. She remembers that she should know me, which is like kind of heartbreaking.
Definitely.
But you know, she just calls me sweetheart or honey, and you know, she has, you know, my mom will be like, "Oh, go, Courtney's gonna help you," and she's like, "Who? Who's that?" Like, Courtney
is the oldest of two children. Are you the only person in your family who's ever written a book?
Yes, as far as I know.
What got you going? School back when you were a kid?
Yeah, I've always loved writing. I guess I'm just introverted, so it gives me that like outlet for things that I am not saying to other people.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I can just write them down, write my thoughts down. And then when I got to college, I had a writing class, like Intro to Writing or something, and the professor pulled me into her office, and I was majoring in history and education. And she's like, please, please, please consider switching majors and be my advisee. Let me be your advisor and be a writing major.
Which would the major be to switch to?
To writing. And I was like, I can't do that because I had a very direct career path with teaching. Yeah. I was like, I don't really know the direct career path. Like, writing is so hit or miss. And so I was like,
She saw it. She saw it already. Yeah. So you stuck with teaching.
Right.
Where'd you get your elementary ed degree?
I went to Boston University, and I studied secondary education for high school, but I've never taught high school.
Where do you teach now? What is it?
So I teach at Peak Medical Academy.
Yeah.
I'm teaching English as a second language.
Did you say at a medical academy?
It's a medical, yeah. So what we're doing is my class is taking people who do not speak English very well and catching them up to where they need to be in order to take medical courses.
So there are future doctors?
Nursing assistants, medical assistants, things like that.
And it's an academy, like a high school, a private high school?
No, it's like adult ed. It's a continuing education.
English as a second language.
Yeah.
I tried that. Was it through the Worcester Library? I had a lovely lady from Russia. And she said she could speak it, and she really could, but she couldn't read it. So what I did is I put my thinking cap on. I said, how can I help her read it? Because I would think our language is not that easy to learn. And so what I did is I actually went to the children's department and got a couple kids' books, like with pictures and stuff like that. She loved it. So she learned that way, just the way we would in first, second grade, whatever. And sounded out. Do they still do, well, it used to be called phonics when I was a kid, but you sound out like charisma would be charisma. What's that called? Sounding it out.
I can't think of an
I can't think of the name of it. But I hope they still do that. Because it makes it like, let's say the word promenade. Promenade. A-D-E-A. And that's how we learned it. Just say it, break it down.
Right,
That's how we learned it.
Yeah.
Do you teach that way?
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Sorry, okay. Yeah.
Letter sounds,
Sure.
digraphs.
We're talking with Courtney Kuketz, and she is the author. Her first book. I shouldn't tell you this. When did you begin writing this, Courtney?
A few years ago. I started writing and then just kind of put it to the side.
Yeah.
And then COVID happened, and so there was a lot of downtime. And I was at home all the time. I was like, now's the perfect time to continue writing.
Yeah.
And so
And it's a hardcover. This is rare for authors these days. What made you decide on a hardcover?
I love a hardcover book. So I like to read hardcovers, and I was like, it made it feel more real to me. Like I wanted hardcover.
Yeah, and this cover, I wish you could see it really good, but it looks like a dark mystery. But what would you classify it as?
There's a little bit of mystery, but not so much a mystery. I would say it's like a women's fiction.
Women's fiction. Frustrated with life's disappointments, ranging from a relationship in disarray to a failed attempt at a prestigious internship, Olivia needs to get away. On the other hand, Betty needs to finish what she and her late husband had planned before his death. As luck would have it, the two women are seated next to each other on a flight to Barcelona. The rest is history. I Shouldn't Tell You This is a women's fiction novel featuring overlapping stories and dual perspectives. The stories of 20-year-old Olivia and 75-year-old Betty show the ever-evolving generational differences, but more importantly, highlight the similarities. Betty may not be the sweet, innocent old lady she initially seems to be. The mysterious death of her first husband may not have been such a mystery to her. And Olivia is a perfectly imperfect college student swept up in an affair with her professor before coming face to face with his wife and children. After landing in Barcelona, the women must face the realities they are trying to escape when an unwelcome surprise awaits at baggage claim. That's going to get you right there. How would you like? I've never flown. Have you?
Yes.
Okay. What do you think of it? I won't do it.
I like to fly.
Yeah, you do?
Yeah.
And can you imagine at baggage claim, a real surprise happens, something that you're not looking for at all. Kind of scary.
Right, you're in a new place, you're not sure, and now there's someone behind you.
Yeah. Her style is interesting. Right. I don't know if you can catch this or not, but little paragraphs. What made you want to do it that way?
I don't know. I guess I didn't really think about it.
Just the way you do it.
Yeah.
It's unusual. I may have seen one only author do it once before. It's kind of neat because it keeps things sort of I don't know, easy to read, and the print perfect print. Have you ever looked at some of the older books or something, and gosh, the print is like you need a magnifying glass to read it. It's horrible, but this is perfect. This is what would you say? Which age? All age groups, women? What do you think?
Yeah, I think
all age
there's
groups.
not really a specific age group that I think it would appeal to.
This is a read for any time of the year. It could be the beach, it could be on vacation, it could be Christmas vacation, whatever. But this goes for any year. And then the person your cousin who did the covers, right?
Right.
Did a great job with that airplane. The airplane and the airplane and the glasses. Now and the knife. All right, so the glasses, are those Betty's?
Yeah,
the older lady, okay, and the knife, what would you think? Is that
that's linking to Betty.
Yeah, and then the plane is both of them.
Right.
And they meet on a plane. Now, what's coming down the pike, Courtney? Anything new?
Well, I'm working on another novel now. Totally different, not connected to this at all.
Totally different.
Totally different. I'm writing, it's like a murder mystery sort of book next.
Ooh, yeah, I love mysteries and thrillers. How long, well, see, because of COVID, this was delayed. How long do you think before your next one comes out, your next book?
Well, I'm not finished yet, so...
Maybe before Christmas?
That would be ideal.
Yeah.
Ideally around Christmas.
People love to give gifts for Christmas, and people read.
Yes.
Courtney, how can they get a hold of your book, or you, to come and give a presentation?
So I have a website at ishouldn'ttellyoutthis.com, and you can purchase the book there. You can find it also on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Walmart, anything like that. If you just search for it, I don't have the link.
How about can they get it up here at Tatnook Bookseller in Westboro?
Yes, it's in at Tatnook Bookseller.
There are so many independent bookstores opening, in Worcester and all.
Right.
Perfect. Oh,
Right. It's also at the Tide Pool Bookstore in Worcester.
I believe we had the owners on the show. The Tide, what a couple! They are so cool.
Yeah,
I
they're
love
very
them.
nice.
There's another wonderful one up in Webster. I highly recommend it, called The Book Lovers Gourmet, and I bet you will love it. Right over in Webster. And Deb Warren, hello Deb, she's been doing that for many, many years. It's the most adorable bookshop. People can give presentations. You could sit down and have some cafe. It has the new book sections, some little doodads, tchotchkes, and in the back, filled with older books. I mean, you can spend all day there. You really can. And of course, down the road is one of my favorites, Sally's Salvation Army Thrift Shop. Oh my God, things have changed, because if you go to a thrift shop, do you notice that these days the tags are new? People just don't feel like bringing them back if they don't fit.
Right.
Something that's $35 might be $5 if it's brand new. Well, anyway, I could go on and on about that. So you're working on the new one. Do you think you're going to change your career from teaching to being an all-time writer?
I mean, that's the dream. I would love to be a full-time writer.
Yeah.
And be able to just work on my writing all the time and not kind of stagger it in when I have a chance.
Do you staff over at Pete's, Peak or Pete's?
Peak with a K.
Okay, P-E-K or P-E-A-K?
P-E-A-K.
Do they know you're a writer?
I did tell them about this book. I brought it in. One of my coworkers bought a copy, so I was very happy about that.
Yeah.
And just recently my boss asked me, like, oh, what is the name of the book you wrote? And I said, I shouldn't tell you this. And he said, why not? Like, he was, like, offended, like I wouldn't tell him the title.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, that's the name of the book.
Yeah.
I shouldn't tell you this.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he got a big kick out of that.
They should read this. And now that you're helping people with English as a second language, once they really get our English down, this is if you're in ESL, English as second language, this is the way she's done this perfectly with the size of the writing and the spacing. I would highly recommend this for somebody who's new to our language and catching on enough to be able to read, because it's beautifully done. Are you going to do it the same way with your next book? I'm
sure it will have the shorter paragraphs. That's just how I tend to write.
Yeah.
I don't really know yet about the font size. And
You don't know yet.
Yeah.
Do you work full-time in ESL?
Yeah.
You do. You must meet people from all over the world, different cultures.
Right. It's fascinating, the people that I've gotten the chance to get to know, and like the different cultures that I've gotten to learn about.
And they're all heading for a medical career.
Now they are, yeah.
Now they are. Are they in a special age group?
No, I mean, I've really had groups where everyone is older than me, and so it's a little bit awkward. We're like, I'm in charge, and everyone's so much older.
Yeah.
This group, I have younger people, which is good. But everyone, and my group now is like from 19 or 20, up to like retirement age.
Yeah, I've seen a bit of a problem. You go in somewhere, and they're hard workers, but there's a certain supermarket we go to, and we love it there, and I mean, oh my gosh, the people who are from different countries are so hardworking. Oh my God, they put us to shame. But when you ask them a question, like, where's the apples? They just stare at me, and I'm like, okay, how can I sign language this? And I really kind of, with an apple, I can't. banana, and go, yeah, banana, that type of thing. It's difficult, and sometimes I wonder why different companies don't provide, as they should, a free ESL for these people. Why is that?
Yeah, I don't know. They just don't think it's worth it, which is not true.
It's worth it, definitely. You want your staff to be able to communicate. Do you find that where you work that do you have to have a special, like yourself, you're so great with words and wrote your book. Do you have like a special, well, your teaching degree is awesome. So did that help you to get that position? I would think it would.
Right, yeah. I also took a teaching English as a second language course. So I got that certification as well, just to get more strategies for teaching.
Is that hard to take, an ESL course?
Not really. It's just really focused on grammar and how you can break it down.
Yeah, and you got different personalities. They're coming in. If we were in, I can speak some French, but if we were in Yugoslavia, something like that, and I know nothing about that, he's sitting down with your teacher, who would be like with Courtney, and think, oh my God, I'm never going to get this. Do you ever get the shaky kind, like, oh, I'm too nervous, I don't think I'm going to get this, or they are determined they're going to get it?
A lot of them are very nervous. Even months in, like, I don't understand, I don't know. And it's like, you do, relax.
Yeah, I can see you being good at that. And then so you went to college, and what college did you go to?
Boston University.
Boston University. So you really started out wanting to teach secondary school, high school kids.
Right.
Well, that takes guts. Once they start hitting middle school? Oh, that's when the real drama begins. Oh my God. I think once they're in college, from what I saw when I was in college, things tend to kind of level off. Or you graduate high school, they level. Of course, there are the partiers who are out all night reveling in college. The frats and the sororities. It's like, do you guys ever sleep? So now, I shouldn't tell you this, and it is basically a women's novel, and it's sort of a mystery, right? Yeah, I would say that. About two different women, one in her 20s, one in her 70s. They meet on a plane to Barcelona. They're just sitting there, and they start talking. And they each have an agenda. They each have a story behind them, And this takes you through that. And as I've said before, this is an easy read. This isn't something that you're like, oh my God, look how long the chapters are or anything like that. No, this isn't. And the printing, I don't have to have small printing. I can, whatever. I like the larger the printing though, the better, because to me it's more fun. I get through it quicker. Is that something you've ever noticed? You get through larger printing quicker, or is it just me?
Well, I don't know. I guess I've never tried noticed. No.
Yeah, sometimes, if I'm in a book group, they'll say, oh, well, we're at the library, we're passing out books. Do you have a preference, regular print or large? I'm thinking, I think I'll take the large because I know I'll get faster through it. I don't know, maybe it's the kid in me or the way I learned. Your parents, what do your folks think about your book? What do they think?
They haven't read it.
They haven't read it? Oh, it's been, a couple of years? You're going to tell them, hey, Mom and Dad, read your kid's book. How about your sibling, the one on your
I don't know that he's read it either, but I have gotten really good feedback from other family members.
How about friends?
Yeah, I've gotten good feedback from the people at work who have read it, and friends.
Your cousin who did the covers. Will your cousin do the next book too?
I'm hoping. This is so great.
Did you self-publish? Because I see a little dog with a bone on the back. Is that your own mark?
Yes, I just decided you come up with your own publishing name, so I used my two dogs, Ellie and Rosie.
So it's called
Ellie and Rosie Incorporated.
At first when I saw it, I thought, I haven't heard of this publishing company before, the dogs with the bone. But that's really cute. And again, I got to say, this is, I don't know, this is highly unusual to see a wonderful brand new author, especially any author coming in here, who has done a hardcover. I'm sure a lot of you out there feel, most of them are, softcover, sit about the same shape. You just chose the hardcover because you like the hardcovers.
Right. Yeah.
What do you think of these, what are they called now? God, what's that thing where they sit there with the thing and they just go scroll and they read it that way? What is that called?
The Kindle or the ebooks.
Yeah. What do you think of that?
It's not really my preference. It is available on Amazon.
Your book is available?
Yes.
Kindle. Okay, I shouldn't tell you this, by Courtney Kuketz, and it is available on Amazon. You know, if you're the, want to read it, in the machine. I can't stand it, but go ahead. I want to hold it. I want to feel, the whole thing.
Right.
You're like I am, then. You're like, yeah, you're going to, I think you will appeal to the majority. There is there are definitely people out there that prefer the Kindle.
Yeah.
But I've met two so far. Mostly they want they want the real book. Will your next book be a hardcover too?
I think so.
You think so?
I think so, yeah.
Will it be about the same amount of pages, do you think?
It might be a little bit longer.
Yeah, maybe a little bit longer.
A little bit longer. There's more going on.
And can you give us a tip about what the story's about?
So the story is actually a man, like, on his deathbed, talking to his children and telling them about his, like, past. But his past involves, like, several murders, and so it's going to go similarly to this book, back and forth through different perspectives.
Yeah.
So it's going to have, like, the different victims' perspectives as well as the man.
Wow, where did you come up with that? That's amazing. Do these just sort of, do you wake up at night and have to write them down? Are you driving along and it hits you at the traffic light? Or how do you get the ideas?
Yeah, sometimes a thought just sticks with me. And I'm like, I think I can really develop this into something. And so,
definitely. Do you write things down as soon as you think about it so you can come back to it?
Sometimes I'm like, I don't even know if that's a good idea, so I just kind of, push it aside. But if it comes back again, I'm like, okay, now it's time to start writing. I'm not much of a planner with my writing. It's kind of like I just get in and start writing.
I hear you.
So.
I like that. I like to, sometimes it's fun to go off the seat of your pants.
Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes that produces the best books because you're just going with it. If you have a friend, you have somebody you can bounce your ideas off of? Do you have someone that you can say?
Yeah, so I work with a writing group on Bardsey, and so we all kind of hand in like a chapter a week.
What's it called?
It's called Bardsey.
Online?
It's online, bardsey.com.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you hand in a chapter a week. There are 5 of us in the group, so we read each other's chapters and comment and then talk about it like in a Zoom meeting.
That sounds really great. I mean, what better way to hear some other writer complimenting your book, more than one writer. Yeah. Do you feel comfortable with that? You like that?
Yeah. It took me a minute to get like comfortable just because I feel kind of awkward talking to people. Mm-hmm. But then I'm like, this is a great group. Like, it's always productive. It's not always positive, but it's always productive.
Definitely.
So.
Yeah, it's good to get the feedback. And it doesn't mean you have to take the feedback.
Right.
What do they say? Take what you like and leave the rest.
Yeah.
That type of thing. And it's an online group.
Yeah.
I know there are many different writers groups in the area. Just out of curiosity, I visited one in Milford one time. It was kind of fascinating to go around the table, the one I went to, and the different authors could kind of share what they're doing, which I'd love to hear about. And they'll ask, what do you think of this? And they'll have like a paragraph or two of them. I think everybody got to read a page or two. And I love that. I really do. Do you do that on your what's it called? Bardsey? Do you do that too? Read a page?
So everyone has already gotten the chapter. We submit them early.
Yeah.
And so everyone's job is to read the chapter over the course of the week or whatever. And you can write at the top, like, I really am not sure about this part.
Yeah.
So you highlight things and so people can comment back.
Then are they on 24/7 or just a certain time?
We have a scheduled meeting.
You have a schedule to go on. Now, when you sit down, we're talking with Courtney Kuketz, and she is the author of her first book, I Shouldn't Tell You This. And are you a night owl, or you spend hours on your computer or as soon as you get home do you start?
Oh, I'm at night. I need yeah.
Yeah, me too. Do you work sometimes like at 1 or 2, 3 in the morning?
Sometimes it can be an
How
all
do you get
night.
up from work?
It's a struggle.
Oh, yeah, I'm past that, man. I'm like, okay, if I'm going to stay up till 2 or 3 in the morning, I got to catch it on the other end. I might make it through the next day, but I'm going to feel it anyhow. And then, you're going to close it. Well, we're going to have to close. But one more time, Courtney, how can they get a hold of you and your book?
My website is ishouldn'ttellyoutthis.com. on there you can purchase the book. You can also purchase the book on Amazon, Walmart, Barnes & Noble. You can find it at Tatnick Bookseller, at Tide Pool Bookseller in Worcester. That's where it's available for purchase. If you are looking to get in touch with me, there is a contact button right on my website. You can email me that way, and that would be great.
Are you going to bring your copy up over to the Upton Community Center over here, or would you like? Well, it's right up the street. This used to be the library downstairs. If you go out of here, you parked in the side or the back?
I parked down the street because I wasn't really sure where I was going.
Okay. All right. Well, when we're done, I'll show you how to get over there. You just go in the library, say, I was just to be my guest, and here was my book. They have a dedicated local author session.
Oh, perfect.
Another great way to get the word out about your book. Thank you for being with us, and please, we're going to have you on when your next one comes out.
Definitely.
All right?
Thank you so much.
All right. We'll see you next time. I'll be my guest.
Riding on a shooting star, heading out toward a dream. Tomorrow's even closer than it seems.